Good morning everyone, it's Thursday morning, so it's time for our level 1 mat class. So this class is absolutely perfect for beginners, people new to Pilates, or people who want a more gentle and restorative class. So as always, I have to let you know that you are taking part in this class at your own risk. And so please do listen to your bodies and make sure that you are exercising safely. So I will be letting you know about some modifications for certain exercises, but if you know there's certain things that you shouldn't do, please make sure that you work safely today. Okay, so who have we got in? We've got Christine. Good morning, Christine. It is going to be a more gentle class than Tuesday night. Okay, so first of all, do make sure that you've got a nice, safe, clear working area. And we are going to be doing a little bit of work inside lying. So if you need a block or a cushion to support your head, or maybe some of you get discomfort in your hip lying on your side, then please do grab a cushion just to pad that out as well. Some of you I know do have a Pilates ball at home. Now, we're not doing a specific ball class, but if you have a hernia, a diastasis or a prolapse and you have one of these at home, then grab that, because we'll be able to modify some of the exercises for you using that. Or if not, grab another cushion, something that you can squeeze. Okay, so we'll make a start. And as always, we're going to think about our posture and just take a moment to tune in to our bodies. So I'd like you to just start at the feet, set up a really good foundation on which we can build and work the rest of the body effectively and safely. So find that you've got toes level, feet parallel, and that you've got even pressure through the feet. So that might be that you're stood evenly in both feet. Okay, so just check, are you leaning into one side? Make sure that you're even through both feet, across the feet front to back, and try to centre the pressure into the middle of your heel. Okay, so particularly of those of you with dropped arches, flat feet, you tend to roll inwards, people with tension in the inside of the knees. Just see if you can even that out and bring your awareness to the centre of the heel. So from there, we want to think of lengthening up through the legs. And just check you haven't locked those kneecaps back. Bringing the pelvis into neutral if you can. So hip bones flat and pointing forward, and we've got that light connection between the hip bones and the bottom of the ribs. Shoulders relaxed down, and feeling that the neck is long, and we're gently bringing that chin back. Now I'm going to get you to bring your awareness to your breath. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. So just take a moment to feel where that breath is going. Allow the tummy to soften and expand as you inhale. So a big inhale. But do you feel like you're filling your lungs first? Is it travelling around into the back of the body as well? Now we're going to think of our breathing in some different ways today. So I'm going to turn sideways. First of all, I want you to breathe into the height of your body. So feeling that you're filling the lungs and growing taller as you inhale. So let's see if we can just get an awareness of that. So breath in, lifting up and lengthening. Exhale, can you maintain that length? Can you feel that there's some lovely space in the body now? So continue with that breathing pattern, breathing into the height of the body. And see if you can get an awareness of that inhale going all the way to the pelvic floor and filling the body all the way up. Now we're going to try and breathe into the width of the body. So I'd like you to feel that you're trying to breathe to expand the ribs sideways. So you might want to just soften and round the arms. Feel like you've got some space there. Big breath in. So almost as though you're trapped between two solid objects, and you've got to send that breath sideways. Just notice how that feels. Now we're going to breathe into the depth of the body, front to back. Big inhale. And a long exhale. Okay, we're going to add some movement to that now. So again, breathing into the height. So let's start by just taking that breath and feeling that we're breathing into the height, into the length of the body. Now let's add in arms coming up. So inhale, exhale. As you move the arms and inhale, are you staying steady on your feet? Firmly connected to the ground. Let's do one more. Breath in. And breath out. Okay. Breathing into the width now, so I'm going to turn to face you. We're going to turn the palms forwards and just check that you haven't locked your elbows out. So elbows inside of the elbows pointing forwards. Let's breathe into the width. Now let's add in the arms. Big inhale, take the arms wide. And exhale. So it's almost as though those arms are pulling your ribs out wide, allowing for that air to come in. Big breath in and exhale, coming back down. And one more. Okay, thinking about the depth now, and we're going to use that to help us with our sways. So I'd like you to take that breath, feeling the expansion front to back into the depth of the body. And exhale. Now let's add that into a sway. Let's inhale forwards into the depth of the body. And exhale back into the heels. Check you're not locking your knees. Inhale forwards. Exhale back. So as big a sway as you can manage. If your heels come up or if your toes come up, that's fine. If you want to keep them flat on the ground, that's okay too. Now let's just make that smaller and smaller. Taking your awareness into your feet, feeling where the pressure is. Smaller and smaller. Feet staying flat, just a little press in the heel, a little press into the ball of the foot, and then back to a centered position. Okay, from there we're going to go into foot pedals and a little sequence in standing. So let's make sure that chin is back, switch on the front of the throat, and let's take a breath in. Lift the heel, float the arms, and roll back down. Inhale and exhale. Leading with the little fingers as the arms come up. And trying, if you can, to get a good bend in those toes, as long as it's not causing any aggravation to any issues you might have in your feet. We'll do one more each leg. And then let's leave the arms here and bring the heel down. We're going to go into bow and arrow. So I'd like you to pull that elbow back, taking care not to roll the shoulder inwards. So think of that shoulder staying back and the squeeze happens here and into the back. Okay, so back to those foot pedals, pull the elbow back and forwards, keeping the collarbones wide. Now in a moment we're going to add in some rotation. I'd like you to be very aware of keeping the hips and the knees pointing forwards. Now if it's not appropriate for you to rotate, so if there's particular disc issues or spine density issues which preclude you from that, then you're going to stay facing forwards. Otherwise we're going to draw the elbow back, keep that hip level, follow the elbow round and centre. So I'd like you to really focus on turning the body from above the hips and centre. Rotate and centre. Being very aware of the lower back. If you feel it's doing a lot of the work, you're maybe lifting your hip as you move around. So think about maintaining that really good bend in the knee and in the toes. Let's do one more to each side. And then stretch the arms up as far as your shoulders will allow and reach out wide and down. Okay, from there we're going to go into heel strikes and keep adding some bits in here. So opposite arm to leg, let's peel up, lift that arm behind, try not to roll the shoulder. Okay, up onto the toe and strike the heel. Pick it back up and roll down. So this is where we start to feel that transfer, as though we're going to take a step and then we don't. Very much focusing on moving the foot. And don't forget about that arm at the back. We want to really lift it, switch that part of the body on. Stretch the foot and roll back down. Articulating through every little joint in that foot, of which there are many. And if we can keep them moving, they're going to stay nourished and healthy for longer. So really try and get as much movement into the feet as you can. One more each side. Okay, now both arms. We're going to peel up, strike the heel. Now let's rock forwards. Rock back. Can you pick that foot up into a knee lift and then step it down? Changing sides, peel up, strike the heel, rock forwards, rock back. So again, some nice movement through the feet. Peel up onto that big toe, strike the heel, roll forwards, roll back. Stretch the foot before you roll down from the toe to the heel. Rocking forwards and back. Picking up and down. Now, we want to roll up. Now lift the knee. position for a lunge. So hips square to the front. Make sure that heel is off at the back and that your knee is pointing forward. So really try not to turn that leg. Okay, so hinged over. We want to lower down. Think of working this front leg. So very often in lunges I see people relying on the back leg and the front leg's not really doing what it should be. Think of pressing down through that front leg, and that back leg is just there as a bit of stabilisation. It's the front leg where I like to feel all the work happening. Feel that hamstring switch on. Now, we're going to do one more. And we're going to stay here, but those of you who didn't rotate before, you're going to come straight back up. But otherwise, can you hold, pull the elbow back, can you turn here without anything else moving? And push back up. Let's come back to that knee lift. And hold. Take the arm up. Bring it down. Let's step that leg out. And you're going to come ready for lunges on this side. Hinged forwards. Collarbones wide, chin nodded. And let's think of working that front leg. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to do two more, and if it's safe and appropriate for you, you're going to hold that last one. Hold. Can you pull the elbow back and turn without your hip lifting? Centre. Pushing up and into that knee lift. And let's step it down. Okay, well done. Right. From there, if you have got small ball or a cushion and you want to use that, then you're going to place it between your knees. So just above the knees, not down into the actual kneecap, but just above, because we're going to get some inner thigh activation here. If not, you can stay with your feet hip distance if you want to, or you could bring your feet together and squeeze your knees together. So I'm going to use the ball. And I want to feel that there's a little bit of tension there. Right, we're going to take the arms up for dumbwaiter. So, as I exhale and rotate, I'm also going to squeeze that ball. Now, I've got it above the knee, because if I squeeze with the knee, it might just turn the knees inwards, rather than working the inner thigh muscles and the pelvic floor. So if your legs together, you're going to squeeze the top of the knees together to get that same feeling. Let's take a breath in. And exhale, squeeze the ball. Turn the arms out. And I want you to focus on feeling a lift through the pelvic floor and feeling that inner thigh connection. Is it the same in both legs? Or have you got one working harder than the other? Just check if you've got a ball or pillow between your knees that it's not making you press out into your little toe. Try and keep that big toe firmly planted. Let's do two more. And one last one. And release. Okay, well done. Right. From there, we're going to come into draw the sword. So this is the hand going from the hip up to the bottom of the ribs and the elbow going out to the side. So I want you to watch for that happening. The shoulder stays down, we want to be working these muscles in the shoulder cap. So if you've got a shoulder injury at the minute, this is a great rehab one for you to do, but remember to work through your symptom-free range of movement. Now I'm going to take the legs quite wide into second position, so I'm turned out from the hip. I want you to feel that that's happened up here, feel that squeeze and wrap around the hips. And again, making sure we've not rolled into the big toe. So all the toes are down and even pressure across the ball of the foot. Now I'm going to take one hand into the small of the back, shoulder back and down, and the other arm is coming out. So I'm going to thread across past the hip towards the knee into a little lunge and then pull back out. So threading towards the knee and pulling back out. So as you come down into that lunge, just check if you're keeping that arch lifted and even pressure across the toes. Now if you feel you can go deeper, you can come all the way down to the foot, but we want to keep the spine tall. Okay, so it's a long spine, no rounding, and pull back out. So that's the important bit for the shoulder. Pushing across and pulling back out. One more. Okay, let's switch. Hand into the small of the back, other arm is coming out. So we're going to thread across, just come to the knee to begin with, tall spine, chin nodded, and then up to the ribs, elbow out to the side. So make sure you can see that elbow out of the corner of your eye. And then if you feel you can, let's take it a little bit deeper, down to the foot. So reach and back up. Only as far as you can go, keeping a tall spine. So if you feel like you hunch over to do that, maybe don't go quite as deep. Think, where's my spine still really tall and long? Pushing down and back up. Let's do one more. And up. Lovely. From there, let's turn the toes in and bring the heels in just a little closer. Ready for some monkey squats. So tall spine, neutral pelvis, and very importantly the chin is nodded and back. Switch these muscles on and keep a little bit of awareness here that they're staying switched on. Coming into the heels and hinging forwards. Now start to lower the hips but keep the chest lifted and pushing back up. Hinging forwards, down into that squat and pushing back up. Now if you feel you can, let's add in some swimming arms. Otherwise, just maintain that monkey squat. But if it's safe for your shoulders, push round. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and bring them back. Chin nodded, we're looking down at the mat. Feel the front of the throat switched on now. Squeeze round, reach those arms away from you. Bring them back and pushing back up. One last one. And up, really nice. Right, we're going to come down into kneeling now. Now if kneeling isn't available to you, bring yourself into seated. If you've got something that you could sit on, you can do this sat in a chair or on a stability ball. Okay, so coming into kneeling, we're going to do a shoulder squeeze. So first of all, I'd like you to make sure your knees are under your hips and that your feet are the width of your knees as well. And that you're pulling up away from the floor. So feel that nice firm foundation, anchor through the knees and the tops of the feet. Plantar fasciitis, feel free to tuck your toes under and give those feet a stretch instead. Okay, but I want you to make sure you're not just relying all on your glutes to hold you upright. So just see if you are gripping, can you just soften that and feel that they're just engaged a little bit. Right, chin stays back and get that awareness of rib cage down. Let's turn the palms away and think of reaching for the side of the knees. Feel your shoulder blades move down your back rather than your armpits jam. Okay, so down the back. Now rotate, squeeze the little fingers towards each other. And recover. Now can you keep going with this one? I'm going to just talk you through a few common mistakes that might be happening. So you're going to exhale and squeeze. Now some people squeeze and lift the shoulders up and you feel all the tension up here. Okay, that's kind of defeating the object of releasing tension up here and creating strength lower down the back. So even if it's only a very, very small squeeze, try and keep the shoulders down and think of squeezing the bottom of your shoulder blades together instead. Okay, another one that I often see is chins push forwards. So try if you can to keep those muscles in the throat switched on, chin back. And lastly, being aware of the rib cage. So we want to try and keep it flat rather than popping the ribs forwards and leaning back. So shoulders staying over the hips, hips staying over the knees, squeezing back and release. One more. And release. Okay, lovely. From there, we're going to find the pelvis. Take the hands onto those hip bones and we're just going to try and make a little circle. So I want you to come into a side bend and upright and then over to the other side and feeling that the hips aren't moving. Now, we're going to create some length in the body. So remember that breath we did into the length? Let's do that again. Breathe into the length of the body, grow taller. Now maintain that space. You're going to lean to the side. Now, can you take the shoulders back but keep lifting out of the hips? And just circle slightly to the other side. Now if you felt that all in your lower back, you're going to stay with side bends. Feel free to just give it another go, but if it stays there, we're maybe not quite ready for this. Where I want you to feel it is up here between the shoulder blades. So the shoulder blades pull down and lean your shoulders over your calves. So over to the side, lift out of the hips, pull the shoulders down and round. So the lower back is not doing anything. Let's just do one more. Over, lift out of the hips, lean back and round. Fantastic. Okay, we're coming to the thigh rock back now. So, diastasis prolapse hernia. Could you grab your cushion or your ball again and place it between your knees once more? So instead of rocking back, you're going to squeeze and very strongly exhale, feel everything pull in. Okay? So otherwise, we're going to stay tall. Let's take that breath into the length of the body. Now stay tall, out of the knees, out of the hips, lean back. And coming back up. So again, no tension in that lower back. I want you to really feel those abdominals switch on. Chin nodded. Let's keep that chin tucked towards the collarbone. Make those muscles in the throat work. Exhale back. And up. One more. actually going to come down into seated. So, if you need to, if you can't get your feet flat and you feel that you're really gripping into your hips, or your knees are dropped out and you just can't seem to get those toes down, pop a little cushion or something underneath your hips. Just lift yourself up a little so that you can get that good posture. So we want knees and feet all aligned, hands softly resting on the knees. And we're going to make sure that we're right up on those sitting bones. Lifting out of the hips, let's breathe into the length of the body again. Now exhale, think about those low tummy muscles. Can you pull them in and start to work up towards the tummy button and then to the ribs, just curling back. And inhale, pull up tall, breathe into the length. Exhale, tucking under, curling back. Try and keep those feet down if you can. Inhale, let's come back up tall. Now those of you who have no issues and are a bit more proficient at this, feel free to take your arms out in front. Anyone who's feeling like they haven't quite got enough support, hold the back of the thighs. So you want to feel like you can switch all those abdominals on. Breathe into the length. Exhale, curl. And inhale, back up. Okay, from there we're coming down onto the mats. Those of you who know how to transition safely with a roll down, please feel free to do that if it's appropriate for you. Otherwise, we're just going to grab our block or our cushion. If you have the small ball and you've been using it, you can grab that and pop it between your knees. Okay, so we're coming down onto the side, ear onto the block or cushion. Make sure you've got more of it behind you than in front. And just check this shoulder. Are you actually lying on your back on your shoulder blade, or are you on the side of your shoulder? So try and bring that shoulder underneath you rather than having it out in front. Okay, so we've got the shoulders stacked, the hips stacked, and I'm making a straight line. Chin back. Okay, abdominals in. We're coming into side leg one. So we're going to stretch that foot, lift, flex, and down. Now where I'd like you to feel this is right here at the side of the hip. Okay, so if you're feeling it in your back, think of stretching that leg away as you lift. And that's going to make this muscle do the work rather than your back. If you're feeling it in the front of your thigh, try taking your leg a bit further back. It might be that as you lift, your quads dominate and bring your leg forwards. Let's do a couple more. One last one. Now, diastasis, prolapse, hernia, spine density issues, pop your ball or your cushion between your knees and you're going to do a really strong squeeze for me. Okay, so you're going to stretch your toes, exhale, squeeze both legs together, so not just the top leg down, squeeze both legs together, flex the feet and release. The rest of us are going to go into side leg two. So let's stretch, inhale. Now exhale, bring the knees together, stretch that bottom leg out, flex the feet and back down. Inhale, exhale. Now if you feel you want a bit more of a challenge, how about taking that arm out in front? Take a little bit of your stability away. How does that feel? Inhale, exhale, you're bringing that leg up or squeezing your knees together. So if you've got the ball, you're going to stretch the feet, squeeze both knees together equally, Flex the feet and release the tension. Let's do this 2 more times. And one last one. And down, fantastic. Right, let's bring that leg forwards. Slide it forwards to feel the hip get a bit of a stretch out. Just make sure you haven't rolled into it or you're not going to get that stretch. Try and keep the hip away from the ribs. And from there, we're going to come into knees together, heels together. Now we're coming into clams. So if you get sciatic issues, you're going to stay with a straight lift. Okay? So if it brings on any symptoms, otherwise we're going to stay heels together, waist lifted, core switched on, so don't relax into the mat, stay active, heels together. You're going to turn that top leg out and feel that it comes from the back here into the glutes. Now if you're a bit of a hip gripper, and as you do this you feel that this muscle at the front does all the activity and really pops out, think about pushing your heel away. So push into the heel and it should help you to get the glutes more active. Let's do 2 more. And one last one. And release. Now from there, we're going to take a breath out and push up, coming onto the forearm, shoulder over your elbow, hips stacked, and just push up out of the shoulder, feel this side activate. So shoulder stabilizing, push away from the floor. Let's take the arm up. Now exhale, lift the ribs so the hip stays still and back down. So you should feel this underneath side do all the work. It's really activating. Exhale, lift and recover. Inhale, exhale. We're going to do the last 2. Big breath out. So this might be where you're thinking more of breathing into the width of the body as we did earlier. So inhale, exhale, and recover. So let's push ourselves up. We'll grab that cushion or that block and come over to the other side. So safely down, lengthening out. Remember to bring that shoulder underneath you rather than lying onto your back, onto your shoulder blade. Let's stretch out in a straight line, chin back. Starting with side leg 1, let's really work that foot as well. Core active, stretch the foot, lift, reaching that leg away, flex and down. So you might only want to lift here, small lift. If you've got the range and the strength, you can take that leg higher, as long as it's not the side of the body and the back doing the work. So being very much aware of what's switching on, reach that leg away. Inhale, exhale. Feel that core tense up on that lovely strong breath. We'll do one more. Okay, again, if you use that cushion or ball on the other side, pop it between your knees now and you're going to repeat what you did on the other side. So stretching the feet, strong breath out, squeeze the knees together, flex the feet and release the tension.
Otherwise you're coming into side leg 2 with me. Let's keep that body long, reach the legs away. Inhale, lift the leg. Exhale, squeeze the knees together. Flex and lower. So I really don't mind if your feet don't touch. This is not about bringing the feet together. This is about activating the upper part of the legs, the inner thigh and the pelvic floor. So if you think of squeezing your knees together, you'll get that. If you squeeze your feet together, you most likely won't. Now, if you can, do you want to take that arm out in front for a bit of a stability challenge? So keep thinking of reaching that leg away. Two more. And one last one. Reach the leg away. Flex and down. Okay, let's bend that top knee, bring it forwards to allow that hip to stretch out for a moment. And then we're going to come into our clams. So both knees together, making sure we've still got that long spine, we haven't curled and relaxed. Active core, heels together. So sciatic issues, if this causes symptoms, straight lift for me. Otherwise, we're staying heels together. So remember, hip grippers, think of pushing down and away through your heel to try and activate the glutes, rather than this muscle here at the front popping out and doing all the work. Exhale. Inhale. Just two more. Last one, and down. Okay, fantastic. From there, breath out to push up, coming onto the forearm, knees together, hips stacked. So just check you're not rolled back. You want knees together and hip bones vertical. Let's push away from the floor. Remember, we're working this underneath side. Chin back, arm comes up, inhale. Exhale, lift the ribs away from the floor and back down. So let's breathe into the width. Exhale and down. Are staying still. We're just lifting the ribs. Exhale and down. One last one. And recover. Okay, fantastic. From there, we're going to come over onto our front, into 4-point position. So knees under hips. Wrists under shoulders, we're not staying here long. Chin nodded, lift the base of the skull. Let's come into our cat curl. Big breath in. Now exhale. Without using your glutes, draw those tummy muscles in from between the hip bones. Feel it lift all the way up to the ribs. And coming back down, glide your shoulder blades towards your hips. Feel that tension in the mid-back. Can you pull on that a little bit more and lift your collarbones away from the floor? One more time. Exhale, curling up. And inhale. Draw the shoulder blades back. So this isn't pulling through the armpits. This is pulling down through the shoulder blades. And back to neutral. Now
from there, coming up into standing with a squat if you feel you can. Otherwise, just bring yourselves up safely. But we're going to tuck the toes, hands to the knees. Now make sure you come into a squat position first. Don't just push all the way up. So heels down, squat, push up. Okay. From there, back to our good standing posture. So let's take our awareness through the feet, through the legs, through the back, and the shoulders, and the neck. Just noticing how everything's feeling. Let's take some nice big stretches. So arm up if you can, across the chest if not. Shoulder stays down. Let's lift out of the hips and reach for the ceiling. Take a big breath in for me. And exhale, come back down. Other side, up and over, big breath in. And down. Let's just turn the chin over one shoulder. And centre. And over the other shoulder. And centre. Now let's take soft knees and a big stretch up. Inhale. And exhale. And very well done. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I hope you enjoyed that. It's bar class tonight. And then tomorrow morning is resistance bands or weights. So do take care and enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope to see you again soon.